Maya Collins woke up at 6 in the morning like she did every Tuesday. She reached over to pet Rex, who was sleeping on his special bed next to hers. Rex was her golden retriever service dog and had been with her for 3 years now. Maya had been blind since she was born, but Rex made her life so much easier and safer. Maya got dressed in her favorite blue jeans and white sweater. She brushed her long brown hair and tied it back in a ponytail. Rex watched her get ready and his tail wagged because he knew they were going somewhere today. Maya put on Rex's special vest that said, "Service dog do not pet" in big letters. She also made sure his certification papers were in her backpack. The plan was simple today. Maya needed to go to the Portland University Library to return some books and pick up new ones for her research project. She was studying social work and wanted to help other people with disabilities. The library was only 8 blocks from her apartment, and she had walked there many times before with Maya. And Rex left the apartment building at 7:30. The morning air was cool and fresh. Rex walked perfectly beside Maya on her left side. He had been trained to watch for obstacles and guide Maya safely around them. Cars honked in the distance, and Maya could smell coffee from the shop on the corner. They walked down Pine Street, which was Maya's usual route. Rex stopped at every curb and waited for Maya to tell him when it was safe to cross. Maya listened carefully for cars and trucks. Rex would never move until Maya said forward, which meant the street was clear on 4th Street Maya, and Rex had to walk past the police station. Maya always felt a little nervous here, but Rex stayed calm, so she did too. Today, there were 2 police officers standing outside the station. Their names were Jake Martinez and Lisa Thompson, but Maya did not know this officer. Martinez saw Maya and Rex walking toward them. He had only been a police officer for 6 months and was still learning all the rules. Last week, the police chief had told all officers about a new city law that said all dogs needed special permits to be in the downtown area. Martinez did not understand that service dogs were different from regular pets. "Hey, you need to stop right there," Martinez called out to Maya. Maya stopped walking and felt confused. Rex stayed right beside her and looked up at the officer. "Is there a problem, officer?" Maya asked politely. She hoped this would be quick because she wanted to get to the library before it got too crowded. "Your dog needs a permit to be downtown," Martinez said. "All dogs need permits now, according to the new city rules." Maya reached into her backpack and pulled out Rex's service dog papers. "Officer, this is my service dog. His name is Rex, and here are all his papers. Service dogs are allowed everywhere by federal law." Officer Thompson walked over to see what was happening. She had been a police officer for 2 years but had never dealt with service dogs before. She looked at Maya and Rex and felt unsure about what to do. "Let me see those papers," Thompson said. Maya handed her the folder with all of Rex's training certificates and her doctor's letter explaining why she needed a service dog. Thompson looked at the papers but did not really understand them. The papers had lots of official stamps and signatures, but Thompson thought they might be fake. She had heard that some people used fake papers to bring their pets into stores and restaurants. These papers could be fake, Thompson told Martinez. "Lots of people try to trick us with fake service dog papers." Maya felt her heart start beating faster. She had never had problems with Rex's papers before. Every store manager and restaurant owner had accepted them without question. "Officer, I promise these papers are real," Maya said. "Rex has been my service dog for 3 years. He helps me navigate safely because I cannot see. Please just call the number on the certificate if you want to check." But Martinez was getting impatient. He had other things to do today, and this was taking too long. He decided that Maya was probably lying about the dog being a real service dog. "We need to take the dog to the station until we can verify these papers," Martinez said. He reached out to grab Rex's leash. Rex had been trained to stay with Maya no matter what happened. When Martinez tried to take his leash, Rex moved between Maya and the officer. Rex did not growl or show his teeth, but he would not let anyone separate him from Maya. "The dog is being aggressive," Thompson said, even though Rex was just standing calmly. "We need to control the situation before someone gets hurt." Maya reached down to touch Rex and make sure he was okay. "Rex is not aggressive," she said. "He is just doing his job, which is to stay with me and keep me safe." But the officers did not want to listen anymore. Martinez grabbed Maya's arm and tried to pull her away from Rex. Maya stumbled and almost fell. Rex moved closer to Maya to help her keep her balance. "Stop resisting," Thompson shouted, even though Maya was not fighting them. Thompson pulled out her taser and pointed it at Rex. Maya heard the taser charging up and felt terrified. Please do not hurt my dog, she begged. He has done nothing wrong. People on the street started to notice what was happening. A woman named Carol Brown was walking to work when she saw the police officers surrounding Maya and Rex. Carol pulled out her phone and started recording everything. Martinez pushed Maya harder and she fell down on the concrete sidewalk. Her left wrist hit the ground first and she heard a cracking sound. Pain shot up her arm and she cried out. Her head also hit the sidewalk and everything started spinning. Rex saw his handler fall and immediately moved to help her, but Thompson fired her taser at Rex before he could reach Maya. The electricity hit Rex and he fell down shaking. Rex whimpered in pain but tried to crawl toward Maya. No, Maya screamed. She could not see what was happening, but she could hear Rex whimpering. Please help him, Carol Brown kept recording with her phone. Other people started gathering around and several of them were also recording. A man named David Kim called 911 to report police. Brutality. Thompson grabbed Rex by his vest and dragged him away from Maya. Rex was still weak from the taser, but he kept trying to get back to Maya. Martinez handcuffed Maya, even though she was injured and bleeding from her head. This is wrong, Carol Brown said loudly. That girl is blind and that is her service dog. Everyone back up, Martinez yelled. This is police business, but more people kept gathering. Someone called for an ambulance because Maya was hurt and not moving much. Rex was locked in the back of a police car and he barked frantically. Trying to get back to Maya sat on the sidewalk with handcuffs on her injured wrist. Blood dripped from her head onto her white sweater. She could not understand why this was happening. All she wanted was to go to the library. The ambulance arrived 10 minutes later. The paramedics said Maya had a concussion and a broken wrist. They wanted to take her to the hospital, but Maya refused to go without Rex by. Now there were 30 people watching, and most of them were recording with their phones. The videos would be uploaded to the internet within an hour. Maya Collins and Rex had no idea that their terrible morning was about to change everything for humans and aliens across the galaxy. Far away from Earth in a place humans had never seen, there was a huge space station floating between the stars. The station was bigger than any city on Earth, and it belonged to something called the Galactic Council. 12 different alien species lived and worked on this station, and they made important decisions about the galaxy. The Council had been watching Earth for 10 years now. They had special cameras and listening devices that could see and hear everything humans did. The aliens were trying to decide if humans were dangerous or if they could be friends. Most alien species thought humans were too violent and should be destroyed before they learned to travel between stars on. The day Maya Collins was hurt by the police officers, a strange alien was working in the monitoring room. His name was Zephyr 9 and he looked like a tall crystal that could think and talk. Zephyr 9 was supposed to be watching for human military activities, but instead he saw something different on his screens. The video of Maya and Rex being attacked by police was playing on news websites all over Earth. Zephyr 9 had never seen humans react like this before. Usually when bad things happened, humans just complained but did not do much else. This time was different. Zephyr 9 called his supervisor, who was a green reptile creature named Elder Korvac. Elder Korvac had been studying humans longer than anyone else on the space station. He thought humans were interesting but probably too dangerous to live. Elder Korvac, you need to see this, Zephyr 9 said. His crystal body was glowing brighter, which meant he was excited or confused. Elder Korvac slithered over to look at the screens. He could see thousands of humans sharing the video of Maya and Rex. Humans were writing angry messages and making phone calls to the police station. Some humans were driving to Portland from other cities to help Maya. This is unusual behavior, Elder Korvac said. His reptile eyes blinked slowly as he watched. In our species, when authority figures attack citizens, everyone stays quiet. These humans are doing the opposite. Zephyr 9 played another video that showed humans gathering outside the Portland police station. They were holding signs that said, "Justice for Maya" and "Protect service dogs." The crowd was growing bigger every hour and people were bringing food and water for each other. Elder Korvac, look at this part, Zephyr 9 said. He showed video of humans who did not even know Maya, but were driving hundreds of miles to support her. They are organizing without any central command. No government told them to do this. Elder Korvac had never seen anything like this in his 300 years of life. When his species had problems with authority figures, they would fill out complaint forms and wait for the government to fix things. These humans were taking action immediately without asking permission from anyone. Send this information to the full council, Elder Korvac said. Cancel today's invasion planning meeting. We need to study this behavior more carefully. The Galactic Council met in a giant round room with 12 different seats for 12 different alien species. Each species looked completely different from the others. Some were like plants, some were like machines, and some were like animals that did not exist on Earth Council. Leader Vexandra was a floating blob of energy that could change colors. She usually glowed red when she was angry, and blue when she was calm. Today she was glowing yellow, which meant she was confused members of the council. Vexandra said in a voice that sounded like music. We have delayed our invasion vote because of new information about human behavior. Elder Korvac will explain. Elder Korvac moved to the center of the room. Fellow council members, we have observed something that does not match our previous data about humans. When two human authority figures attacked a disabled human female and her animal companion, the response was immediate and widespread. The screens around the room showed video of Maya and Rex being hurt by the police. Then they showed videos of millions of humans responding. Council members made different sounds of surprise depending on what kind of aliens they were. General Thrak was a warrior alien that looked like a giant insect with armor. He commanded the Council's military forces and had been planning the invasion of Earth for 2 years. This changes nothing, General Thrak said in a voice like grinding metal. Humans are still violent and dangerous. This video proves they attack their own weak members. But Dr. Vailtar disagreed. She was a scholar alien that looked like a floating brain in a glass dome. She had been studying human culture and behavior for the whole 10 years. General Thrak, you are missing the important part, Dr. Vailtar said. Yes, 2 humans attacked the female, but millions of other humans are now defending her. This shows pack loyalty that extends beyond family groups. The council watched more videos of humans responding to Maya's situation. They saw humans donating money to help pay for Maya's medical bills. They saw human lawyers offering to work for free. They saw human doctors offering to help Rex recover from his injuries in our species, said Ambassador Quill, who looked like a tree with eyes. Such coordination would require months of government planning. These humans mobilized in less than 1 day. Commerce Minister Zintari was shaped like a giant sea creature with tentacles. She controlled trade between different alien worlds and understood economics better than anyone. Look at this data, Zintari said. Her tentacles pointed at screens showing human businesses. Human companies are refusing to work with the Portland government. Their economic systems are being used as weapons for moral purposes. The council members had never seen anything like this before. In their civilizations, business and government and social issues were completely separate. But humans seemed to mix everything together when they wanted to create change. This could be a weakness, General Thrak argued. If their economic systems can be disrupted by emotional responses, then they are unstable. Or it could be a strength, Dr. Vailtar replied. Emotional responses that create rapid organization might make them very difficult to conquer. Council leader Vexandra was now glowing purple, which meant she was thinking very hard. How many humans are involved in this response so far? Zephyr 9 checked his data. Current count shows 47 million humans have shared the video. 12 million have donated money. 3 million have signed petitions demanding changes. The numbers are still growing, 47 million, repeated Ambassador Quill. That is more than the total population of most civilized worlds. Elder Korvac added more information. The response is spreading to other human nations as well. Humans in Europe and Asia are also organizing support. This is becoming a planetary response to a local incident. The Council had been planning to invade Earth because they thought humans were too disorganized to resist effectively. But this Maya Collins incident was showing them something different. Humans could organize very quickly when they wanted to. We need more time to study this behavior, Vexandra announced. I am postponing the invasion vote for 6 months. We will continue monitoring human responses to this incident. General Thrak was not happy. Council leader, we have spent years planning this invasion. Our military forces are ready to deploy. General, your forces will remain ready, Vexandra said firmly. But we will not attack a species we do not fully understand. This incident has revealed capabilities we did not know humans possessed. The meeting ended and the council members returned to their home sections of the space station. But many of them continued watching the videos of humans helping Maya and Rex. Some aliens were beginning to think that maybe humans were not as simple as they had believed. Meanwhile, on Earth, Maya was in a hospital bed with a cast on her wrist and bandages on her head. Rex was lying on a special bed next to her hospital bed. Maya did not know that millions of people around the world were fighting for her. And Rex, she also did not know that aliens in space were watching everything and trying to decide whether humans deserved to live or die. The simple walk to the library that had gone so wrong was now affecting the future of the entire human species. But Maya just wanted Rex to feel better, and she wanted to go home. She had no idea that her story was spreading across the galaxy and changing how advanced civilizations thought about humanity. Maya woke up in the hospital the next morning with a terrible headache. Rex was sleeping on a special bed right next to her, and when he heard her moving, he opened his eyes and wagged his tail softly. Maya reached over with her good hand to pet him and felt grateful that he was okay. A nurse named Betty came into the room carrying a breakfast tray. Betty had been working at Portland General Hospital for 15 years and had never seen anything like what was happening outside, honey. You have become quite famous, Betty said as she helped Maya sit up in bed. There are news trucks outside and hundreds of people holding signs with your name on them. Maya felt confused. She just wanted to go home and forget about what happened yesterday. I do not understand why people care so much about what happened to me and Rex. Betty turned on the television in Maya's room. Every news channel was showing the video of Maya and Rex being hurt by the police officers. Maya listened to the reporters talking about her story and felt overwhelmed. On one channel, a man named Ben Rodriguez was being interviewed. Ben was a civil rights lawyer who helped people fight unfair treatment. He had driven to Portland from San Francisco as soon as he saw Maya's video. What happened to Maya Collins and her service dog Rex is a clear violation of federal disability rights laws, Ben said on television. I am offering to represent Maya free of charge because this kind of discrimination must not be tolerated. Maya had never heard of Ben Rodriguez, but he seemed like a kind person who wanted to help. She wondered if she should trust him. In another part of the city, Dr. Kate Williams was checking on Rex's medical records at her veterinary clinic. Kate had seen the video and felt angry that anyone would hurt a service dog. She had called the hospital and offered to provide all of Rex's medical care for free. Service dogs are specially trained heroes, Kate told a reporter outside her clinic. They dedicate their entire lives to helping their human partners. What those officers did to Rex was cruel and unnecessary. Meanwhile, at Portland University, where Maya was a student, her professors and classmates were organizing support. Her social work professor, Nancy Adams, started a fund to help Maya pay her medical bills and living expenses. While she recovered, Maya is one of our best students, Professor Adams told the university newspaper. She works harder than anyone else and always helps other students with their projects. Now it is our turn to help her. By noon on Wednesday, the fundraising website had received donations from over 10,000 people. The money was coming from all over the world. People in Japan and Germany and Australia were sending money to help a girl they had never met. Carlos Santos owned a small restaurant near Maya's apartment building. He had seen Maya and Rex walk past his restaurant many times and always thought they seemed like nice people. When Carlos saw the video, he decided to do something special. Carlos organized a benefit dinner at his restaurant with all proceeds going to Maya's medical fund. He called other local business owners and asked them to donate food and supplies. Within 6 hours, Carlos had enough donations to feed 500 people. Maya and Rex are part of our neighborhood, Carlos told anyone who would listen. When someone hurts our neighbors, we all need to stand up and help. The response was not just local. Disability rights organizations across the country were mobilizing to support Maya. The National Federation of the Blind sent their best lawyers to help with Maya's case. The American Foundation for the Blind offered to pay for any equipment Maya might need. Helen Park lived in the apartment next to Maya and had known her for 2 years. Helen was a retired teacher who had always been impressed by Maya's independence and positive attitude. Now Helen felt angry that anyone would treat Maya badly. Helen organized a meal delivery schedule so Maya would have home-cooked food when she got out of the hospital. 20 neighbors signed up to bring meals and help with household chores. Helen also arranged for people to walk Rex when Maya was too hurt to do it herself. Maya never asks for help even when she needs it, Helen told the other neighbors. She is always so determined to do everything herself. But right now she needs all of us to take care of her. College student Alex Chen had never met Maya but felt inspired by her story. Alex started an online petition demanding that the Portland Police Department change their policies about service dogs. The petition asked for better training for police officers and consequences for officers who violated disability rights. Alex's petition gained 200,000 signatures in the first day. People were not just signing their names, they were also writing comments about their own experiences with service dogs and police discrimination. Maya's story is not unique, Alex wrote on the petition website. Many disabled people face discrimination every day. We need to change the system so this never happens again. The international response surprised everyone. Human rights organizations in Europe issued statements supporting Maya. The United Nations Human Rights Council announced they were investigating American disability rights policies, but the response that meant the most to Maya came from other service dog handlers. Hundreds of people with guide dogs and mobility assistance dogs sent messages of support. They shared their own stories of discrimination and thanked Maya for bringing attention to these issues. "You are not alone," wrote a woman named Susan from Texas, whose guide dog had been attacked by security guards at an airport. "All of us service dog handlers are with you, and we will fight for justice." Maya read some of these messages on her phone and started crying. She had thought she was the only person who faced these problems. Now she realized there were thousands of people who understood exactly what she had been through. Police Chief Robert Hayes was feeling pressure from all sides. His phone was ringing constantly with calls from reporters and angry citizens. The mayor was demanding answers, and the city council was scheduling emergency meetings. Chief Hayes called a press conference for Wednesday afternoon. He stood behind a podium with microphones and cameras pointed at him, while dozens of reporters asked difficult questions. The officers involved in yesterday's incident followed department protocol, Chief Hayes said. "We are conducting an internal investigation to determine if any policies were violated." This response made people even more angry. If attacking a blind girl and her service dog was following protocol, then the protocols were wrong. The protesters outside the police station doubled in size after the press conference. Social media was filled with angry posts about Chief Hayes and his defense of the officers. People shared the video over and over with comments demanding justice for Maya and Rex. The hashtag Maya and Rex was trending worldwide by Wednesday evening. The story had been viewed by over 50 million people around the world. Maya had become a symbol of disability rights and police accountability. She had also become something else that she did not know about yet. High above Earth in the alien space station, the Galactic Council was watching everything with growing amazement. They had never seen a single incident create such a massive, coordinated response from humans. "Their organizational capabilities are exceeding our predictions," reported Dr. Vailtar. "They have mobilized resources across multiple continents without any central command structure." Elder Korvac was studying video of the protests and fundraising efforts. This behavior suggests pack loyalty that extends beyond genetic relationships. They are defending a female they do not know because they perceive injustice. "It is tactically impressive," admitted General Thrack reluctantly. "If they can organize this quickly in response to a minor incident, imagine what they could do if we actually invaded their planet." The aliens continued watching as humans around the world continued organizing support for Maya. What had started as a simple walk to the library was becoming the most important event in human history, even though Maya Collins had no idea that the future of her entire species was being decided by her story. Ben Rodriguez arrived at the hospital on Thursday morning, carrying a briefcase full of legal documents. Maya was sitting up in bed with Rex lying beside her, and she felt nervous about meeting the famous lawyer she had seen on television. "Maya, I know this is overwhelming, but I want to help you get justice," Ben said as he sat down in the chair next to her bed. "What happened to you and Rex violates several federal laws, and we can make sure it never happens to anyone else." Maya listened as Ben explained the legal process. He wanted to file lawsuits against the city of Portland, the police department, and the two officers who hurt her and Rex. Maya felt scared about going to court, but Ben promised to handle everything. "I have been fighting discrimination cases for 20 years, Ben told Maya. "Cases like yours are exactly why I became a lawyer. You did nothing wrong, and those officers need to be held accountable." While Ben was talking to Maya in the hospital, the legal system was moving very slowly. This made people around the world feel frustrated and angry. They wanted immediate justice for Maya, but court cases could take months or even years. Outside the courthouse downtown, hundreds of protesters were holding signs demanding justice. They chanted "Justice for Maya" and "Fire the officers" while news cameras recorded everything. The protests were peaceful but determined. Mayor Patricia Gonzalez was in her office trying to figure out how to handle the crisis. Her phone had been ringing constantly for 3 days with calls from angry citizens, reporters, and government officials. She had never faced anything like this in her 8 years as mayor. "This is becoming a national embarrassment," the mayor's assistant told her. "Every major news network is talking about our city and none of it is good." Mayor Gonzalez knew she had to make some difficult decisions. The two officers were still working while the internal investigation continued, and this was making people even more angry. But the police union contract made it very hard to suspend officers without proof of wrongdoing. At the police station, officers Martinez and Thompson were hiding in the break room trying to avoid reporters. Neither of them had expected their encounter with Maya to become such a big story. "I was just following the rules about dog permits," Martinez said to Thompson. "How was I supposed to know she was really blind?" Thompson felt worried about her job and her future. She had a family to support and could not afford to lose her income. Maybe we should have listened to her explanations instead of assuming she was lying, but it was too late for regrets. The video of their actions was being seen by millions of people every day, and most viewers thought they should be fired or arrested police. Chief Hayes was meeting with the police union representatives trying to decide what to do about Martinez and Thompson. The union wanted to protect the officers, but they also knew public opinion was strongly against them, Chief. "The officers made mistakes, but they do not deserve to have their lives destroyed," said Union President Frank Miller. "They were trying to enforce city regulations and things got out of hand." Chief Hayes felt trapped between protecting his officers and protecting the reputation of his department. "Frank, the public is demanding accountability, and if we do not give them something, they will demand my resignation too." While the adults argued about legal procedures, Maya was dealing with her own problems. Her broken wrist made it hard to do simple tasks, and her concussion caused terrible headaches. Rex was recovering from the taser, but he seemed nervous and stayed closer to Maya than usual, Doctor. Kate Williams came to visit Maya in the hospital to check on Rex. Kate brought special treats for Rex and a card signed by dozens of veterinarians. From around the country, Rex is physically fine, but he might have some emotional trauma from the attack. Kate explained to Maya. "Service dogs are trained to trust humans, and when humans hurt them, it can be very confusing." Maya petted Rex gently and felt guilty that he had been hurt because of her. "I am sorry, Rex," she whispered. "I never wanted you to get hurt." But Rex just wagged his tail and licked Maya's hand. He did not blame Maya for what happened, and his only concern was taking care of her. The media attention was creating unexpected problems for Maya. Reporters were trying to interview her constantly, and photographers were taking pictures whenever she left her hospital room. Maya had always been a private person and felt overwhelmed by all the attention. "I just want to go home and back to school," Maya told Helen Park, who had come to visit. "I never wanted to be famous." Helen understood Maya's feelings, but she also knew that Maya's story was helping other people. "Honey, what happened to you was wrong, but your courage is inspiring millions of people around the world." Meanwhile, journalist Linda Foster was investigating whether Maya's case was part of a bigger pattern. Linda worked for the Portland Tribune and had been covering police issues for 10 years. She suspected that Martinez and Thompson had made similar mistakes before. Linda spent days going through police reports and court records. She interviewed lawyers and disability advocates looking for other cases involving service dogs and police officers. What she found was shocking. In the past 2 years, there had been 7 similar incidents in Portland, where police officers had interfered with service dogs or their handlers. Most of these cases had been settled quietly with small payments to the victims and no punishment for the officers. "This is not about 2 bad officers making one mistake," Linda told her editor. "This is about systemic problems in police training and accountability." Linda's investigation revealed that Portland police officers received only 4 hours of training about disability rights and service animals. Compare this to the 80 hours they spent learning to use weapons. The investigation also showed that complaints against officers were rarely investigated seriously. The Internal Affairs Department had dismissed most complaints about disability discrimination without interviewing witnesses or reviewing evidence. When Linda published her investigation, the public response was explosive. People realized that Maya's case was not an isolated incident, but part of a pattern of discrimination against disabled people. "We demand immediate reforms," said disability rights activist Peter Johnson at a press conference. Maya Collins should not have to suffer for the police department to finally take disability rights seriously. The pressure on Mayor Gonzalez and Chief Hayes was becoming unbearable. Business leaders were threatening to move their companies out of Portland if the police department was not reformed. Tourism was declining as people canceled trips to the city. International criticism was also mounting. The European Union issued a formal statement expressing concern about American police treatment of disabled people. The Canadian government advised its citizens to be careful when traveling to Portland. But the most damaging criticism came from other American cities. Police chiefs from Seattle, San Francisco, and Denver publicly stated that their departments had better disability training than Portland. "We train our officers to recognize and respect service animals," said Seattle Police Chief Maria Lopez. "What happened in Portland would not happen here, because our officers know the law." The comparisons made Portland look backward and unprofessional. Chief Hayes knew that his department's reputation was being destroyed and that major changes were inevitable. On Friday afternoon, Ben Rodriguez filed a comprehensive lawsuit in federal court. The lawsuit demanded money damages for Maya's medical bills and pain and suffering. It also demanded court orders requiring the police department to change its training and policies. "This lawsuit is not just about money," Ben told reporters on the courthouse steps. "It is about making sure no other disabled person has to endure what Maya Collins went through." The lawsuit named the city of Portland, the police department, and officers Martinez and Thompson as defendants. It alleged violations of the Americans with Disabilities Act, federal civil rights laws, and state assault statutes. Mayor Gonzalez read the lawsuit in her office and realized that the city could face millions of dollars in damages. The legal costs alone would strain the city budget for years. But the aliens watching from space were not interested in human legal procedures. They were fascinated by something else entirely. The humans were holding their authority figures accountable in ways that no other species had ever attempted. In our civilization, Elder Korvac reported to the council, "Citizens who challenge authority are punished. These humans are demanding that authority justify itself to citizens." The concept was so foreign to the aliens that they had trouble understanding it. In every other civilization, they knew power flowed downward from rulers to subjects. But humans seemed to believe that power should flow upward from citizens to leaders. This revelation was forcing the Galactic Council to completely reconsider their assessment of human civilization. By the end of the first week, Maya's story had reached the business community in ways no one expected. Amanda Scott was the CEO of a major technology company based in Portland, and she had been watching the news coverage with growing concern. Amanda, his company employed 3,000 people and had contracts worth millions of dollars with the city of Portland. When she saw how the police department treated Maya and Rex, she felt disgusted and decided to take action. "Effective immediately, we are suspending all contracts with the city of Portland until they implement meaningful police reform," Amanda announced at a press conference. "We cannot do business with a government that allows discrimination against disabled citizens." Amanda's decision shocked the business community because her company was one of Portland's largest employers and taxpayers. Other business leaders watched carefully to see what would happen next. The reaction was swift and powerful. Within hours, 3 other major companies announced they were also suspending city contracts. By the end of the day, 15 businesses had joined the boycott, including 2 banks and a major construction company. Mayor Gonzalez felt panic when she realized how much money the city was losing. The suspended contracts were worth over $50 million in annual revenue, and the city budget could not survive without them. Jose Rivera owned a popular restaurant chain with 8 locations in Portland. He had always believed in treating all customers equally and felt angry when he saw how Maya was treated until the police department fires those officers and changes their training. "My restaurants will not serve anyone in a police uniform," Jose announced. "We serve the community, and the community includes people like Maya who deserve respect." Jose's decision was controversial because many people believed businesses should not get involved in political issues. But other restaurant owners quickly joined the boycott, and soon police officers found it difficult to buy food anywhere in downtown Portland. The economic pressure was unlike anything Portland had ever experienced. Hotel bookings dropped as tourists canceled trips. Convention organizers moved events to other cities. Even the airport reported fewer passengers as people avoided traveling through Portland. This is economic warfare, complained City Councilman Greg Walsh at an emergency council meeting. Businesses should not be able to hold the city hostage over one incident, but other council members disagreed. Councilwoman Rita Patel had a daughter with disabilities and understood why the business community was upset. This is not economic warfare, Rita said angrily. This is accountability. For too long we have ignored problems in our police department and now we are paying the price. The international business community was also taking notice. The European Union announced that Portland would not be considered for a major trade conference that would have brought thousands of visitors and millions of dollars to the city. Canadian companies that had been planning to expand into Portland announced they were looking at other cities instead. Even Mexico issued a travel advisory warning disabled visitors to be careful when visiting Portland. The economic impact was spreading beyond Portland to the entire state of Oregon. Other cities worried that the negative publicity would hurt tourism and business development. Throughout the region, Portland's reputation is affecting all of us, said Salem Mayor Jennifer Clark. They need to fix this problem quickly before it damages our whole state. But the business response was not just about economics. Many business owners had personal connections to disability issues and felt a moral obligation to act. Carol Martinez owned a clothing store and had a brother with autism. When she saw Maya being attacked, she remembered all the times her brother had been treated badly by people who did not understand his disability. Maya could be anyone's sister or daughter, Carol told a local news reporter. If we do not stand up for her, who will stand up for us when we need help? The response from disabled customers was especially powerful. People with disabilities often had trouble finding businesses that truly welcomed them, but now they were seeing businesses actively defending their rights. For the first time, I feel like the business community actually cares about people like me, said Robert Kim, a wheelchair user who shopped at several of the boycotting businesses. These companies are risking money to defend our dignity. The boycotts were having a bigger impact than anyone expected because they were coordinated and sustained. Usually business protests lasted only a few days before companies worried about losing money and gave up. But this time was different because the business owners genuinely believed in their cause. They were willing to lose money in the short term to create long-term change. Amanda Scott held a meeting with other CEOs to coordinate their response. We cannot let the city wait for this to blow over, she told the group. We need to maintain pressure until we see real reforms. The business leaders created a list of specific demands, including firing the officers who hurt Maya, requiring extensive disability training for all police officers, and creating an independent review board to investigate police misconduct. We are not asking for anything unreasonable, said tech executive David Park. We just want the same protections for disabled people that everyone else takes for granted. Meanwhile, the aliens watching from space were studying this economic response with fascination. In their civilizations, business and government operated as separate systems that rarely influenced each other. Their economic structures can be mobilized for social purposes, reported Commerce Minister Zintari to the Galactic Council. This creates both vulnerability and incredible adaptive strength. The aliens had never seen anything like this coordination between economic and moral systems. In most advanced civilizations, business focused only on profit, while government handled social issues. This economic integration makes them unpredictable, General Thrack observed. If we invaded their planet, their business systems would immediately mobilize against us. Dr. Vailtar was taking detailed notes about human economic behavior. They sacrifice immediate profit for long-term social stability, she reported. This suggests planning capabilities that extend beyond individual benefit. The Galactic Council was beginning to realize that human civilization was far more complex than they had originally believed. Every aspect of human society seemed to be connected to every other aspect, in ways that created powerful but unpredictable responses. Elder Korvac was particularly interested in how quickly the business community had organized. They achieved economic coordination in less than 1 week, without central planning or government direction. He noted, this kind of rapid economic mobilization was exactly what made humans potentially dangerous to other civilizations. If humans could organize their economy for moral purposes, they could probably organize it for military purposes too. But it also made humans potentially valuable as allies. A species that could rapidly coordinate economic resources Might be very useful in trade relationships or during galactic emergencies. We need to study their economic integration more carefully, Council Leader Vexandra decided. This capability could be either a threat or an opportunity depending on how we approach them. Back on Earth, Maya was finally released from the hospital and returned to her apartment. She felt overwhelmed by all the attention her story was receiving and confused about why so many businesses were getting involved. "I just want things to go back to normal," Maya told Helen Park as they sat in Maya's living room. Rex was lying on his bed nearby, looking much better after a week of rest and medical care. But Helen knew that normal was never coming back. Maya's story had changed too many things and affected too many people for everything to just return to the way it was before. "Honey, you have become a symbol for millions of people," Helen explained gently. "Whether you wanted it or not, your courage has inspired others to stand up for what is right." Maya petted Rex and tried to understand how her simple walk to the library had created such a huge response. She was just one person who wanted to be treated fairly, and she had no idea that her story was being watched by alien civilizations across the galaxy. The business boycotts continued to grow stronger each day, and Mayor Gonzalez knew she had to make some major decisions, soon or risk losing her job and destroying her city's economy forever. The pressure on Mayor Gonzalez finally reached a breaking point 2 weeks after Maya was attacked. The city was losing millions of dollars every day from the business boycotts, and the mayor knew she had to make dramatic changes to save Portland's reputation. On Monday morning, Mayor Gonzalez called Police Chief Hayes into her office for what everyone knew would be a difficult conversation. Chief Hayes had been defending his officers and his department's policies, but the mayor could no longer afford to support him. "Bob, you have been a good chief for many years, but this situation requires new leadership," Mayor Gonzalez said. "I am asking for your resignation effective immediately." Chief Hayes felt angry, but he understood the political reality. His career was over because of one incident that he believed his officers had handled correctly, according to department policy. If the policies were wrong, then the city council should have changed them years ago, Chief Hayes replied. "My officers followed the training they received, but the mayor was done making excuses." She announced Chief Hayes' resignation that afternoon and promised to hire a new chief who would implement comprehensive reforms. The mayor also announced that officers Martinez and Thompson were being fired and would face criminal charges for assault and civil rights violations. This decision violated the police union contract, but the mayor was willing to fight the union in court. "The people of Portland deserve police officers who understand and respect disability rights," Mayor Gonzalez said at a press conference. "We cannot allow discrimination to continue." The announcement was exactly what protesters and business leaders had been demanding. Within hours, several companies announced they were ending their boycotts and resuming normal business with the city. But Maya wanted more than just punishment for the officers who hurt her. Working with Dr. Kate Williams and a service dog trainer named Tom Mitchell, Maya announced the creation of the Rex Foundation. "We want to prevent this from happening to anyone else," Maya said at a press conference outside her apartment building. "The Rex Foundation will provide free legal help and service dog training for disabled people who face discrimination." The foundation's first project was a partnership with the Portland Police Academy. All new police officers would be required to spend 1 week training with disabled community members and their service dogs. "Officers need to understand that service dogs are not pets," explained Tom Mitchell. "They are medical equipment that disabled people depend on for independence and safety." The training program was revolutionary because it put disabled people in charge of teaching police officers instead of having police teach themselves about disability issues. Maya insisted on being personally involved in the training even though she was still recovering from her injuries. She wanted every police officer to meet her and Rex so they would understand the real impact of their actions. "When officers see how Rex helps me navigate the world, they understand why separating us is so harmful," Maya explained to a reporter. "Education is more powerful than punishment." The first group of police cadets to go through Maya's training program were nervous about meeting her. They had all seen the video of what happened and felt ashamed of how their profession had treated her. "I became a police officer to help people," said Cadet Jennifer White after spending a day with Maya and Rex. "Learning about service dogs and disability rights makes me a better officer." The training program was so successful that police departments from other cities asked to send their officers to Portland for similar education. Within 6 months, 40 police departments across the country had implemented Maya's training model. Mayor Gonzalez hired Patricia Stone as the new police chief. Chief Stone had worked for the FBI, investigating civil rights violations, and was known for implementing progressive police reforms. Our goal is to make Portland a model for how police can serve and protect all community members, including those with disabilities, Chief Stone announced at her first press conference. Chief Stone immediately implemented new policies requiring officers to receive 40 hours of disability rights training every year. She also created a special unit to investigate complaints about discrimination against disabled people. The changes in Portland were impressive, but Maya's influence was spreading far beyond her home city. The Rex Foundation received requests for help from disabled people across the country who faced similar discrimination. Maya hired several staff members, including lawyer Ben Rodriguez, who left his private practice to work full-time for the foundation. Dr. Kate Williams became the foundation's veterinary advisor, and Helen Park became volunteer coordinator. We are creating a national network of support for disabled people and their service animals, Maya explained to a group of donors. No one should have to face discrimination alone. The foundation's work caught the attention of Congress, where several representatives introduced legislation to strengthen federal disability rights protections. The Maya Collins Act would require all police departments to provide extensive disability training and create penalties for departments that failed to comply. Maya's courage has inspired a national movement for disability rights, said Congresswoman Lisa Chang, who sponsored the legislation. We must ensure that what happened to her never happens to anyone else. Meanwhile, the international response to Maya's story continued to grow. The United Nations invited Maya to speak at a conference on disability rights in Geneva, Switzerland. Maya felt nervous about traveling internationally, but she knew the opportunity could help other disabled people around the world. She and Rex flew to Switzerland, where Maya addressed delegates from nearly 200 countries. Disability rights are human rights, Maya told the assembly. Every person deserves to be treated with dignity and respect, regardless of their abilities. Maya's speech was translated into dozens of languages and broadcast around the world. She received standing ovations from delegates who were inspired by her message of hope and determination. The European Union announced new funding for disability rights programs in response to Maya's visit. Several African countries invited Maya to help them develop their own service dog programs, but the most significant response came from an unexpected source. High above Earth, the alien observers were documenting every aspect of Maya's growing influence on human civilization. This individual has created systemic changes across multiple human governments, reported Dr. Veltar to the Galactic Council. Her influence extends from local police policies to international law. The aliens were amazed by how one person's experience could transform an entire civilization's approach to justice and equality. In their own societies, such changes would require centuries of gradual evolution. She has become a catalyst for species-wide adaptation, Elder Korvac observed. This demonstrates problem-solving capabilities we did not expect from humans. General Thrak was particularly interested in Maya's international influence. If humans can organize global responses to social issues, they could probably organize global responses to external threats. The Galactic Council was beginning to realize that human civilization was far more sophisticated than they had originally believed. The Maya Collins incident had revealed organizational capabilities that made humans potentially valuable allies rather than threats to be eliminated. We should consider making contact, suggested Ambassador Quill. A species with these adaptive capabilities could contribute significantly to galactic civilization, but Council leader Vexandra wanted to observe longer before making such a momentous decision. Let us continue monitoring their response to this incident, she decided. We need to understand the full extent of their capabilities. Back on Earth, Maya was settling into her new role as a disability rights advocate. She had returned to her studies at Portland University, but was also traveling frequently to speak at conferences and help other disabled people. I never wanted to be famous, but I am glad my story is helping others, Maya told a friend. If what happened to Rex and me can prevent discrimination against other people, then it was worth it. Rex seemed to understand the importance of their work too. He had become more confident and protective during their travels, and always stayed close to Maya during public appearances. Maya had no idea that her story was being watched by alien civilizations, or that her influence on human society was helping to determine the future of her entire species. She was just a young woman who wanted to make the world more fair and accessible for everyone, but the changes she had inspired were indeed transforming human civilization in ways that impressed even the most advanced species in the galaxy. 1 year after the incident that changed her life, Maya was working at the Rex Foundation office when she received an unexpected phone call. The caller identified herself as Dr. Elena Vasquez, a former NASA scientist who said she needed to meet with Maya urgently. "I cannot explain over the phone, but this concerns your safety and the safety of everyone on Earth," Dr. Vasquez said. "Can you meet me tomorrow at Pioneer Courthouse Square?" Maya felt confused and a little scared, but something in Dr. Vasquez's voice convinced her this was important. She agreed to meet the scientist the next afternoon. Maya arrived at the square with Rex at exactly 2 o'clock. Dr. Vasquez was sitting on a bench wearing a dark coat and sunglasses even though the day was cloudy. She looked nervous and kept checking her watch. "Maya, thank you for coming," Dr. Vasquez said as she stood up. "What I'm about to tell you will sound impossible, but I need you to listen carefully." Dr. Vasquez explained that she had worked for NASA for 15 years studying signals from space. 3 years ago, she and her team had discovered that Earth was being monitored by an advanced alien civilization. "At first we thought they were just studying us like we study animals in nature," Dr. Vasquez continued. "But then we learned they were deciding whether to destroy human civilization or allow us to continue existing." Maya felt like she was in a science fiction movie. "Why are you telling me this?" she asked. "I am just a college student," Dr. Vasquez smiled sadly. "Maya, you are much more than that. Your incident with the police and everything that followed has been watched by these aliens. They have been studying human responses to injustice, and your story has apparently impressed them greatly." The scientist explained that a small group of government officials and scientists had been in secret contact with the aliens for several months. The aliens had postponed their invasion plans specifically because of Maya's story and the global response it generated. They could not understand how individual injustice could mobilize millions of humans without central government command, Dr. Vasquez said. In their civilizations, such responses require official authorization from rulers. Maya sat quietly trying to process this incredible information. Rex sensed her stress and moved closer to her side. She petted him absently while thinking about what the scientist had told her. "The aliens have been monitoring human civilization for 10 years, trying to decide if we are too dangerous to exist." Dr. Vasquez continued. "Your story showed them something they had never seen before in any species." According to Dr. Vasquez, the aliens had been particularly amazed by how quickly humans organized economic boycotts and political protests in response to Maya's treatment. They had also been impressed by the international response and the changes in laws and policies. "They are having difficulty categorizing human civilization," the scientist explained. "We do not fit their models for how intelligent species behave." Maya finally found her voice. "What does this mean for Earth and for all the people living here?" Dr. Vasquez looked around to make sure no one was listening to their conversation. "The aliens have decided to make formal contact instead of destroying us. They want to offer partnership in something called the Galactic Council." The scientist explained that 12 alien species were part of this council that governed trade and diplomacy between civilizations. Humans would be the 13th species to join if they proved worthy. "Maya, they specifically want you to be involved in the first contact process," Dr. Vasquez said. "You have become humanity's unofficial ambassador to galactic civilization." Maya felt overwhelmed by the responsibility. "I do not know anything about aliens or space politics. I just wanted people to treat disabled individuals fairly." "That is exactly why they want you involved," Dr. Vasquez replied. "You demonstrated moral courage without expecting personal benefit. The aliens respect that kind of character." The scientist handed Maya a business card with only a phone number written on it. "Think about what I have told you and call this number when you are ready to learn more." "But Maya, this must remain absolutely secret until the formal announcement." Maya walked home in a daze with Rex guiding her carefully through the familiar streets. She could not believe that her simple desire for justice had somehow prevented an alien invasion of Earth. That evening, Maya sat in her apartment trying to decide what to do. She thought about calling Helen Park or Ben Rodriguez, but Dr. Vasquez had warned her to keep the information secret. Instead, Maya talked to Rex about the situation. "What do you think, boy? Should we get involved in alien politics?" Rex wagged his tail and licked Maya's hand. He did not understand aliens, but he trusted Maya to make good decisions for both of them. Over the next few days, Maya researched everything she could find about extraterrestrial life and government space programs. Most of the information was speculation, but she found some scientific papers that discussed the possibility of alien contact. Maya also thought about her work with the Rex Foundation and how much progress had been made in disability rights over the past year. Hundreds of police departments had implemented new training programs based on her model. The Maya Collins Act had passed Congress and was now federal law, requiring all law enforcement agencies to provide extensive disability rights training. Similar laws were being considered in other countries. Maybe I can help make sure aliens treat humans fairly, just like I helped make sure police treat disabled people fairly, Maya thought. After a week of consideration, Maya called the phone number Dr. Vasquez had given her. She was told to come to a secure government facility outside Washington, D.C. for a briefing about the alien contact situation. Maya and Rex flew to D.C., where they were met by federal agents who drove them to a building that looked like an ordinary office complex. Inside, however, Maya discovered a sophisticated operation involving scientists, military officials, and diplomats. The briefing room contained dozens of people who had been working on the alien contact project for months. Maya felt intimidated by all the important-looking officials, but Dr. Vasquez introduced her to everyone. "Maya, this is General Patricia Hayes, who heads our military response team," Dr. Vasquez said. "And this is Ambassador William Chen, who will lead our diplomatic negotiations." General Hayes seemed surprised that a college student would be involved in such important discussions. "Dr. Vasquez, are you sure Miss Collins is ready for this level of responsibility?" But Ambassador Chen understood the situation better. General, the alien specifically requested Maya's involvement. Her story influenced their decision to offer partnership instead of conquest. The briefing lasted 6 hours and covered everything from alien technology to galactic politics. Maya learned that the Galactic Council controlled trade routes between star systems and maintained peace between different civilizations. Joining the council would give humans access to advanced technology and protection from hostile alien species, Ambassador Chen explained. But we would also have responsibilities to help maintain galactic peace. Maya asked many questions about how humans would be treated as junior members of the council. She was particularly concerned about whether Earth would maintain independence and whether disabled humans would be accepted by alien civilizations. "These are exactly the kinds of questions we need you to ask during the actual negotiations," General Hayes admitted. "Your perspective on fairness and equality could be very valuable." The formal first contact was scheduled to occur in 6 months at a neutral location in space. A small group of human representatives would travel to meet with the Galactic Council and negotiate terms for Earth's membership. "Maya, we want you to be one of those representatives," Ambassador Chen said. "Your story brought us to this point, and your voice should be heard during these historic discussions." Maya accepted the responsibility, even though she felt scared about traveling to space and meeting alien beings. Rex would come with her because the aliens had specifically mentioned their interest in the bond between humans and service animals. As Maya returned to Portland, she realized her life was about to change again in ways she could never have imagined. The girl who just wanted to go to the library had become humanity's voice in the largest diplomatic negotiation in history. 6 months later, Maya found herself aboard a human spacecraft, heading toward the Galactic Council's space station. She wore a special spacesuit designed to accommodate Rex, who was in his own protective gear beside her. The other human representatives included Ambassador Chen, General Hayes, Dr. Vasquez, and several other officials. Maya felt nervous about meeting beings from 12 different alien civilizations, but she kept thinking about all the people on Earth who were counting on these negotiations to go well. "Remember, Maya," Ambassador Chen said as their ship approached the massive alien station. "You are here because your story demonstrated something about humanity that impressed them. Just be yourself and speak from your heart." The space station was larger than any city Maya had ever visited. Their ship docked at a port designed specifically for human vessels, and Maya felt amazed that aliens had built something just for them. A delegation of aliens met them at the airlock. Maya could not see them, but she could hear different types of voices speaking through translation devices. Some voices sounded musical while others sounded mechanical. "Welcome, representatives of humanity," said a voice that sounded like wind chimes. "I am Council Leader Vexandra, and we are honored to meet the species that has shown such remarkable organizational capabilities." Maya was introduced to each council member and tried to remember their names and species. Elder Korvac was the reptilian being who had been studying human behavior. Dr. Vailtar was the floating brain who analyzed human culture. General Thrak was the insect warrior who had originally planned to invade Earth. The meeting room was enormous with different types of seats and environments for each alien species. Maya's chair was designed for human anatomy, and Rex had a special area beside her. Before we discuss membership terms, Council Leader Vexandra announced, "We want to hear directly from Maya Collins, whose story influenced our decision to offer partnership." Maya stood up slowly with Rex beside her. She had prepared a speech but decided to speak spontaneously instead, honored council members. Maya began, "I am grateful for this opportunity, but I want you to know that I am not special. I am just one human who experienced injustice and asked for help." Maya explained how her simple request for fair treatment had grown into a global movement for disability rights and police accountability. She described how millions of humans had organized without central command to support her cause. "What you observed was not unique to my situation." Maya continued, "Humans respond this way whenever we see powerful people harming vulnerable people. We do not accept injustice as inevitable." Elder Korvac asked the first question. "Maya Collins and our species, when authority figures act wrongly, citizens submit complaints to higher authorities and wait for official responses. How do humans mobilize so quickly without government permission?" Maya thought carefully before answering. "In human society, we believe that government exists to serve citizens, not the other way around. When government fails to protect people, citizens have both the right and responsibility to organize for change." Dr. Vailtar was curious about human economic responses. "Your species used economic pressure to force policy changes. This integration of commerce and morality is unknown in our civilizations. Humans understand that everything is connected." Maya replied, "Our economy, our government, and our social values are all part of one system. When one part fails to serve justice, the other parts must respond." General Thrak asked about human military capabilities. "If your species can organize economic and political responses this rapidly, what would happen if we threatened your planet?" Maya smiled at this question. "General, I think you already know the answer. If aliens attacked Earth, every human nation would unite against the threat. Our organizational capabilities would be focused on defense rather than social justice." The questions continued for hours as council members tried to understand human civilization. Maya answered each question honestly while Rex lay calmly beside her chair. Finally, Council Leader Vexandra asked the most important question. "Maya Collins, what do humans want from membership in the Galactic Council?" Maya had discussed this question with the other human representatives, but her answer was her own. "We want to learn from other civilizations and share what we have learned. We want to help maintain peace in the galaxy and protect vulnerable species from exploitation." "And what can humans offer to the Council?" asked Commerce Minister Zint Hari. "We can offer rapid adaptation and problem solving," Maya replied. "When faced with new challenges, humans can organize resources and develop solutions very quickly. We can also offer moral leadership because humans do not accept that might makes right." The council members discussed Maya's answers in their various alien languages before Council Leader Vexandra announced their decision. The Galactic Council votes unanimously to welcome humanity as junior partners in our confederation. She declared, "Earth will maintain sovereignty while gradually integrating with galactic civilization." The human delegation celebrated quietly while the aliens explained the terms of membership. Earth would receive access to advanced technology and protection from hostile species. In return, humans would contribute to peacekeeping efforts and help resolve disputes between other civilizations. Maya Collins. Council Leader Vexandra said, "The Council would like to offer you a permanent position as human liaison for justice and equality. Your unique perspective would be valuable in our work." Maya felt honored but also concerned about leaving her work on Earth. "Council Leader, I am grateful for this offer, but my foundation is still helping disabled people on Earth. Could I split my time between both roles?" The council agreed to this arrangement, and Maya became the first human to hold an official position in galactic government. She would spend 6 months each year on the space station, helping resolve conflicts between alien civilizations. Rex would accompany Maya on all her travels, and the aliens were fascinated by their partnership. Several alien species had never seen such cooperation between different types of beings. 2 years later, Maya and Rex returned to Portland for the first time since joining the Galactic Council. The city had changed dramatically, and was now considered a model for inclusive community policing. Maya walked down the same streets where she had been attacked and marveled at the improvements. Tactile guides helped blind pedestrians navigate safely. Police officers waved and asked about her work with the aliens. The Rex Foundation had grown into an international organization with offices in 30 countries. Maya's training program for police officers was now used by law enforcement agencies around the world. Who would have thought Rex? Maya said as they walked past the library she had been trying to reach 3 years ago, that going to return books would lead to first contact with alien civilizations. Rex wagged his tail and pressed against Maya's leg. He was now famous throughout the galaxy as the first Earth animal to visit alien worlds. But he was happiest when they were home together. Maya reflected on everything that had happened since that terrible Tuesday morning. The incident that began with cruelty and ignorance had evolved into humanity's introduction to a larger universe. The Portland Police Station now had a memorial plaque honoring Maya and Rex for their contribution to disability rights and galactic diplomacy. Former officers Martinez and Thompson had served jail time and were now working as advocates for police reform. The most important lesson, Maya told visitors to the memorial, is that ordinary people can create extraordinary change when they stand up for what is right. Every individual has the power to make the world more just. High above Earth, the alien monitoring station continued its peaceful watch over humanity. The species that had once been considered too dangerous to exist was now helping to maintain peace between civilizations across the galaxy. Maya's story had proved that humans possessed something rare in the universe: the ability to transform individual conscience into collective action for justice. This quality made humanity valuable partners in building a better galaxy for all species. As Maya and Rex walked home through the streets of Portland, Maya thought about all the disabled people around the world who no longer face discrimination because of the changes her story had inspired. She also thought about the alien species who were learning from human approaches to justice and equality. The ripple effects of that one terrible morning continued to spread across the galaxy, creating positive change in ways Maya was still discovering. Rex guided Maya safely to their apartment, where Helen Park was waiting with dinner and stories about the latest Rex Foundation projects. Maya had found her place in the universe not as a victim of injustice, but as a catalyst for positive change. The girl who had simply wanted to reach the library had become a bridge between worlds, proving that sometimes the most profound transformations begin with the smallest acts of courage and hope.